Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. My name is Salom Adonu. Tonight I'm here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes, some constituency executives of both the NDC and the MPP in the Mpoho constituency in the Western region arrested for allegedly registering minors in the ongoing voter registration exercise. Also coming up.
So I don't see, and I will not have a situation where we are taxing churches. We rather want to give churches incentives to support what government is doing. I want us to be partners in the way that the development partners are with us.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, MPP flag bearer for election 2024, promises to incentivize churches rather than taxing them. This evening, do churches need incentive from the state to do better? Still on Eyewitness News, former President Mahama blames what he calls cronyistic governance practices for Ghana, losing some $190 million meant for private sector participation in electricity distribution under the U.S. Millennium Compact. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Bank of Ghana rejects criticisms over $12 million payment to contractors of Pualugu Multipurpose Dam.
There is more business in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across the country and on all our partners and affiliates around the globe at citinewsroom.com. In the Western region, this is Premier 100.5 FM in Takrady, Beach 105.5 FM also in Takrady, and Sky Power 93.5 FM also in Takrady. In the Bono region, Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, and Hames Radio 106.5 in the Ahafo region. In fact, in Goss in the Ahafo region. In the Ashanti region, this is Alpha Radio 104.9 in Kumasi. And then Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, Global 105.1 FM in Ho, and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adaklu Wire. In the Northern region, Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale, and in the Upper West region, Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East region, this is Source 100.1 FM in Boku, and the Northeast region, SCAP 101.3 FM in Nakman Duri. You can join the discussion by sending your comments to our WhatsApp line 0549986996. You can follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at Salom Adonu. The hashtag, as always, is Citi Newsroom. And in our very first story, the New Patriotic Party constituency treasurer for Mpoho and a teacher at the Mpoho Senior High School in the Western region, Frank Nkrumah, has been arrested by the police for registering a minor. He was arrested this morning by the police and is currently in police custody. His arrest was upon a criminal complaint filed by the police by the NDC constituency executives for the Mpoho constituency on Wednesday. Let's speak to our correspondent in the Western region, Akwesi Enima J, to help us appreciate really what the situation is. Hello, Akwesi. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Tell us about this arrest. How was it, and who were those minors registered?
Well, concerning this MPP constituency treasurer who is arrested, he was arrested in connection with one alleged minor that he's been accused of aiding in his registration. According to our sources, he works at a school, and then what he's doing is that he's been busing the students to go there to register. But my source tells me that he just goes and dumps the student there and comes back for another batch. And this very person that for whom he's arrested, the minor, she was found to have registered with a document. I think the information that he gave to that, if you check his school information, the information doesn't tally with the birth certificate, and that is where the NDC is making that complaint, for which the police has arrested him. And so far, he has been given police inquiry bail, and the police is still investigating the case. And so that is the situation with this Frank Nkrumah's arrest.
Also, he is now on police inquiry bail. We also understand that the NDC, this secretary for the constituency, was also arrested. What's the situation with that one too?
So that one actually happened yesterday at a polling station called Apatanta in the Mpoho area, and his case is currently also under investigation and also on a police inquiry bail. He was actually arrested for also aiding the registration of a minor when one of the alleged minors that he facilitated, mother alerted the electoral officials that the child called Joseph Ando, a minor, was not 18 years, and she managed to provide a birth certificate for which this man, this NDC official, was arrested. And when he was actually taken to his house, and then a search was also conducted, they found 4 extra ID cards. Those, I'm told by my source, that those 4 ID cards, they don't have any issues with minor. But the question is, the law doesn't permit anybody to be holding in possession of anybody's ID card, and so that is why the police is actually investigating. So he's first been investigated for this minor, and then the 4 ID cards that. But again, the police, I'm told, is not looking at the 4 others, but only looking into the case of a minor being registered through his facilitation. So the 2 of them are all on police inquiry bail as we speak.
Very well. So what's the situation in the constituency? Is there tension? What's happening there?
There isn't. I mean, as you can see, the 2 litigating parties have all had their officials being implicated. So there's an element of you do me, I do you. They seem to be satisfied because it's 1-1 now, and they are looking at what will come out of the police investigation and whether there will be any, prosecution after the investigation.
I see, but talk to us about the turnout in the registration exercise. What would you say about the number of people coming out to register?
Well, for the few places that I've visited, it's just one police station in per constituency, per district, and so when you get there, we have some kind of number, but you don't see that distress situation where people are so much overcrowded and having to wait so long in queues. The numbers are okay, but they are not that outrageous that you say people are so much worried having to wait in queues. And so the patronage is not that bad as we speak.
All right. Akwesi, thanks so much for speaking to us. So just keep your eyes on the ball and let us know when anything changes. Thank you so much, Akwesi J. Neem, our Western Regional Correspondent, bringing us some details on what has been happening there in respect of the arrest and subsequent granting of bail to 2 officers of both the NDC and MPP for allegedly registering minors. Now let's speak to the Western Regional Communications Office of the NDC, Richard Ernest Kekmensa. Hello, Richard. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News. What is the case from your side of town that your people are mobilizing young people or minors to register for the purposes of voting in the 2024 elections?
Good evening to your cherished listeners. The information that you have might not necessarily be the truth on the ground. What happened was that on Wednesday, the Deputy Constituency Secretary of the NDC, Mr. Afo, who is a well-respected persona in the constituency, both MPP and NDC respect him because of his fatherly nature and how he helped the people of Mpoho. So during the normal mobilization for registration, he went to various schools in the constituency to inform, most especially the private schools, that if they have any student there who is over 80 years and has not registered, they should give us the necessary document and the necessary information about such students so that we can aid their transportation to the center. you know very well that the GC never adhered to the call to do the exercise at the various lecturer areas. So now it is done at the district level. So for people to register, they need a form of transportation. What our constituency deputy secretary did was to just give information to a school. And the proprietor of the school also announced to the students that if any of them is 80 years and above, he should provide the names to the office. And I'm reliably informed that 7 of the student body came willingly to the headmaster's office and told the headmaster that they are 80 years and above. Based on that information, the headmaster of the school informed our deputy secretary, who has a vehicle, to come and pick these students to the center. Because of the nature and the business nature of the man, he just aided by just picking the students and dropped them at the registration center. He never aided in any form of registration. He never guaranteed for anybody. The registration went on successfully, but somebody saw one of the student there who later went to inform the parent of the said student that they saw a doctor at the registration center, and upon interrogation from the mother, she got to know that it was an NDC deputy who aided her to the registration center. Apparently, because the woman is MPP biased, the change minister was there and said that the daughter is not 18 years. So they went to the MPP in the constituency, persuaded the mother of the child to make a formal complaint that the NDC's deputy secretary has aided their daughter from registry. And in such nature, what normally happens is that we have the election review committee. It happens like that. We sit down and resolve the issue. But because they wanted to take a political advantage and paint the NDC black about it, they went on with the media and everybody at the station and called for the arrest of the headmaster of the school, who came to give his side of the story. And upon that, they quickly arrested our deputy secretary. He was put in the cells, and based on that information that went into the town, people became very angry of the situation. And one young lady who is a student of the Power Secondary School, where the MPP treasurer teaches there, willingly came out and said, but if that is the case, why is it that you, Mr. Nkuma, you asked me whether I'm 80 years, and I told you I'm not 80 years, I'll be 80 years in December, because I was born on the 12th of December, 2006. You told me that I should go and register, and you took my Ghana card out from me. And you told me that when I go to the station, I should tell that I don't have a Ghana card. If that is the case, then I will go home and bring my birth certificate, which is a certification that I am not 18 years, but you, Mr. Nkuma, the MPP position treasurer, aided me to register so that they can also arrest you. Because what you people are doing to Mr. Alfred is just not the right thing to do. So the girl willingly came out. We went to the father. The father provided the birth certificate of the child, which certified that the girl was not 18 years, but he has been aided by the MPP position treasurer. And suddenly, the MPP position treasurer took the girl's Ghana card from her, so that nobody can trace that the girl was not 18 years. That was how come the arrest was also made. The NDC constituency and the people of Power got angry. They stormed the police station that if they have arrested Mr. Afro for just providing vehicular assistance to the people to the station, then they should arrest the culprit, Mr. Nkuma, who even had a prior knowledge that the girl was not 18 years, but connived with the electoral officers to register her. They should arrest her first. That is how come these two arrests came upon, and because they realized that the agenda to paint the NDC black as well, they called the police to give the two suspects bail. So they are
when you say they caused the police to give the two suspects bail, who are the they?
Because
who were the they? Who were the they?
Reliable source. The police district commander told us that there is a pressure coming from the powers that be to put the NDC deputy secretary to court and immediately sent to court. He will be remanded. That is how the people of football and this young lady came out willingly and said that no, you, Mr. Nkrumah, you are aiding in this kind of crime. But you are the one who is the main culprit. So the students willingly came out to aid us to unravel the mischief of the MPP.
I see. I see. Thank you so much. So for as we speak, will you say that calm is being restored and everybody is fine going about their normal duties?
Calm is restored. But all these things, we should put the blame to the Electoral Commission of Ghana. If they have done what others, Afaridan and Charlotte Tesfaye has done in the previous registration process, but then by sending the machines to the various electoral areas, we wouldn't have the advice from the political parties.
I see. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Richard Ernest Kirk-Mensah, Western Regional Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress. Howard gives us some more stories on the registration exercise. Howard.
The New Patriotic Party has rebuked the opposition NDC for requesting for the serial numbers of the biometric voter registration kit being used in the ongoing limited voter registration exercise. The NDC had insisted that its request for the serial numbers is to ensure transparency during the polls. But the Commission, in a statement on May 9, said that releasing the serial numbers to external parties could pose major risks to the security and integrity of the electoral system and its operations. Reacting to the concerns of the NDC, Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, said the NDC must learn to trust the EC ahead of the 2024 polls, describing the request as a lazy approach.
I think the NDC is very lazy at their work to ask for BVR serial numbers from the Electoral Commission. If you read carefully the CI that regulates registrations in Ghana, you realize that all political parties have agents across all the 268 centers that registration happens. These machines are displayed, and the number of machines allocated to each center is clearly known. And these serial numbers and what have you can't easily be taken by our agents at the polling stations. And what I do know is that all registrations that we have done, no political parties have been given serial numbers of these machines. But I don't know exactly if they actually meant to receive these serial numbers. Their agents can easily ascertain and get these particular names and details of these machines to them.
Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now, your messages have been coming in thick and fast. Let me take a few of them. This one from Daniel Akpalok in Sandema says, it is sad that our politicians are now perpetrating illegalities to win power instead of working to improve the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian. The NPP lacks credibility for the upcoming elections and will thus engage in all forms of illegalities to break their so-called aids, you say. Prof Intema says, so this ECRA, whose interest do they serve with some of these decisions? Why not register the polling stations or even electoral areas to make it easier for the citizens? This district office registration is problematic. Has the nation been handed over to the EC, you ask? Akapol Jr. from Hafumim says, Ghanaians must understand that the fact that both NDC and NPP are a coin with two sides, or they must understand that both NDC and NPP are a coin with two sides, you say. If they think bringing back NDC into power is going to ameliorate their economic woes, they should forget because they can't even give detailed explanations to their 24-hour economic policy. John Na Tete from Koforia says, is Ghana for the NDC and NPP alone? Why each day, if not NDC attacking, it is NPP defending? Ghanaians are tired of these two parties. They are not there for the welfare of Ghanaians but themselves. Harry in Amasaman says the parties are really registering minors, but common sense should have prevented this when birth certificates were not allowed to be used. But who should we blame? Well, okay. So that is Harry in Amasaman. We'll take a short break. When we return, Dr. Baumia has been speaking. He's been meeting the Christian community, and he says that he wants to incentivize churches, and that he will not tax them. You know, the discussion at some point was on whether or not churches should be taxed. He's saying that he would rather want to incentivize churches to do better. We'll tell you more when we return.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power, because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell, go well.
Are you a builder, contractor, or homeowner with a passion for quality? Look no further. At Yale, we pride ourselves in trusted security and quality hardware for doors. Visit our showroom on 11th Lane Street in Accra, Ghana, and discover the world of Yale door hardware handles and locks. At Yale, we understand your need for security and the desire for elegance. Our products not only protect your loved ones, but also add a touch of sophistication to your home or business. Whether you're renovating your space or crafting a new masterpiece, Yale is your trusted partner with a history of 180 years of innovation. Come on down to Yale today. Experience the perfect blend of security and style with Yale. Yale, where security meets style.
It's the 3i Africa Summit, where innovation, impact, and investment converge, where technology drives transformation. From the 13th to the 15th of May 2024, heads of state, central bank governors, thought leaders, innovators, investors, academics, and entrepreneurs will converge to unleash Africa's full potential. Discover the power of digital assets, explore the state of digital growth in Africa, and unveil lessons from Africa's central bank digital currency experiments. Engage in discussions on diversity in the creative arts and tech, financing Africa's SMEs, and bridging the digital gender gap. Network with investors, pitch your ideas, and access funding at the 3i Africa Deal Room and Pitchfest. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center as we ignite a fintech revolution for Africa's financial future. Visit 3iafrica.com to register now.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Hey, sorry. Chairman Mane. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Electroland Ghana Limited is giving its May Day promotion in all its shops and authorized dealers across Ghana. Grab a Samsung Full HD 32-inch LED TV for just 2,349 Ghana cedis. Get our discounted media tabletop fridge at 1,999 cedis. Buy a TCL UHD 4K Smart Android 55-inch LED TV at 6,299 Ghana cedis and get a free NASCO 5-burner cooker. May Day promotion promotion good. Get a NASCO 90 liters top freezer at 1,699 Ghana cedis. And if you're looking for top quality dishwashers, gas hobs, chimney knots, and electric hobs, Electrolux got you with exciting discounts as well. Rush now. Terms and conditions apply. For further information, call 050-315-9739. Electroland Ghana Limited, home of luxury and affordable appliances.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We're live on 97.3 Citi FM, coming to you live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. You can join the conversation as always via our WhatsApp line 0549986996. My name is Selam Adunu. I'm here with Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Now, the new Patriotic Party flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has pledged not to tax churches when elected or if elected in the 2024 elections. The conversation on government placing taxes on religious institutions like churches has been prominent in certain quarters of the country. These calls have in recent times heightened following conversations on the need for government to initiate measures towards increasing revenue. But Dr. Bawumia believes taxing churches is not the way to go. According to him, churches play a huge role in the socioeconomic development of the country. He believes the state should rather incentivize churches to continue with their developmental agenda. He was speaking in a meeting with the clergy in the Bono East region as part of his ongoing nationwide tour.
Then the question is church and taxes. Are we going to tax churches? My view on this is simple. In fact, that's why I say that if you share a Juma church, in fact, we should rather be paying them rather than they paying us. Unless you don't understand the work the church has done. If you're looking at the buildings, the way they try to keep the society together, the church, the universities, the hospitals, the schools, it's massive. It's just massive. Many churches have hundreds of schools. Massive. So I don't see, and I will not have, a situation where we are taxing churches. We rather want to give churches incentives to support what government is doing. I want us to be partners in the way that the development partners are with us. You are our domestic development partners, and we will give you incentives to do more.
So you heard Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, MPP flag bearer, and of course Vice President of our Republic. Now let's subject his comment to some analysis. Francis Timoboy is a tax analyst, is a lawyer as well. He joins us to help us appreciate really what the law on taxing churches or religious institutions is. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Kindly educate us. What does the law say about the state taxing churches or religious bodies generally?
So, Salom, over the years, the state and churches have been separated when it comes to taxation because some arguments like freedom of religion and potential government overreaching its boundaries. So churches have enjoyed tax exemption for centuries, and it is not only in Ghana. However, the condition is that the exemption applies to the church's income. So anytime a church engages in commercial activity, then the law seeks to separate it. This position has been the law since tax laws were introduced in Ghana. So in the 2015, the Income Tax Act, Act 896, the government put it under Section 97 and called it approval of charitable organization. Now, the condition here is that if you are a church, then you should operate as a public character, or you should operate with a public character. In other words, it is open to the public, and you should have a constitution which prevents the church from engaging in party politics or the church conferring private benefits on individuals. if you are able to comply or your constitution complies with this provision of Section 97, then the Commissioner General will not tax you. However, the exemption that you are getting does not apply to business income. If you look at subsection 5, it says that the exemption does not apply to the business income of a charitable organization, which includes a church. So what that means is that if a church engages in any business activity like renting of their conference facilities, some churches even buy buses which operate just like any other business person, and the law will try to separate that income from the traditional tithe offering and then those donations that the church receives.
I see. That's quite interesting. So in terms of, so you would not typically call offering, tithe, etc. income to the church, and so that cannot be taxed.
Exactly, because these are contributions, charitable contributions from the members, and normally the purpose is for this social and community work. Some churches engages in a lot of social work, so the ideal is that it is from members, and therefore it is not from a business income. So the law does not seek to tax you. However, if the church decides that we have money and therefore we want to buy buses, even to raise money to support the church's activity, these are two separate activities that the law will place, and therefore the income from the church or the income from the store that has been opened or the sale of books, which just mimics a commercial activity, then the law will impose the tax on it.
I see. So how about the income of church officers? Would those incomes be subjected to income taxes?
Of course, Salom, these are employees just like you and I. So they are paid, and therefore their salaries should be subjected to the traditional PAYE just like any other employee. And I believe most churches do that. That is not an exempt income. In other words, the individual is different from the church. You are working. And again, if the church is also making payments to persons who are maybe workers like contractors, for the renovation of their church buildings, these are also income that the individual contractor is earning, and therefore the law requires that the church should apply withholding taxes on those income.
I see. You say as part of the exemptions, the church should not confer private benefits on individuals. What does that mean? And what could that private benefit be? I mean, giving a car to the pastor, or what could that be?
So, Salom, some small churches, I don't want to mention names, some small churches do not traditionally operate as a charitable organization. In other words, one man has set up his church, so sometimes the offering goes to him, and sometimes accountability becomes even a problem. So the law under subsection 2 says that before you are considered as a religious organization to enjoy the exemption, the church or that entity should have a constitution which prohibits, one, the engagement in party political activities, and then two, you should not confer private benefit. So the offering and tithe should not come to me and say these are offerings and therefore I'm the pastor, so I've taken everything, or the church property should not be my property. That case, then you are conferring private benefit of that church to the person, so that you don't even function as a public institution anymore.
But how is the GRA then ensuring compliance to this? I mean, how is the GRA able to tell that this particular church is not conferring private benefits on particular individuals in the church? How do they tell? How can they tell?
Salam, that is a very interesting question. Over the years, this particular provision, we have not been able to enforce it. Ideally, the subsection 1 says the Commissioner General may approve an entity as a charitable organization for purposes of taxation in Ghana. So clearly, these charitable institutions are supposed to apply to the Commissioner General and then tell their position and say, this is my constitution, we are a charitable organization, and these are our objectives. If they do that, then the Commissioner General can now give an approval. However, this has not been done, especially when it comes to churches and other religious institutions. It is not done. For other NGOs, like maybe social NGOs, sometimes they do that so that they get exemption. However, churches have not been doing this thing. And so the GRA finds it difficult even to distinguish commercial activities which the church undertakes. And this has been the problem that we have with the implementation of this particular provision of the law.
I see. So now there are suggestions, and not to draw you into a difficult arena because you're a professional. I mean, how feasible will you say professionally? How feasible will it be for churches to be incentivized? Rather, what would the modalities be? Of course, I know elsewhere, I mean, they are given some form of rebate, etc. But what can Ghana do, or how should the approach be from a professional viewpoint?
I'm not sure it would be perfect to take taxpayers' money and say we are giving some incentives to the church. The best we can do is to continue exempting them from their income, like the offerings and the tithe, because the ideal is that they are going to use it for other charitable purposes. And so regarding the business income of the church, I think other countries do it. And so if we decide to enforce it, that will be in the right direction. However, maybe taking money in order to give it to them, I think that will be overreaching our agenda for incentivizing this charitable organization. I will not subscribe to that. Maybe we can continue to exempt them for the taxes that they are supposed to pay on their church income. I mean the proper church income, not the commercial income of the church.
How about maybe exempting churches from paying things like VAT, etc., when they go out to buy, for example, building materials to put up their building?
Salom, that would be extreme, because if you look at the VAT law, there are special conditions, and the provision there is VAT relief. We call it relief. The law has clearly outlined people that we can relieve them of the VAT. The question is, how do you even tell if the item that has been purchased is going to be used for the purpose for which you are providing the relief? Maybe it's something that we can subject it to a national debate and say, okay, if the office of the president is enjoying a VAT relief, should you also extend that one to the churches? It is something that we can decide or we can debate, but the law is very specific when it comes to VAT relief on supplies that are made to consumers, because VAT is a consumption tax. Remember, if you relieve the person, then what it means is that it is government which is going to fund that particular tax that you want to relieve the taxpayer or the consumer.
So that would be an incentive then, wouldn't it?
We can consider that as an incentive. So we say that, okay, every church which is registered with the Ghana Revenue Authority, in that case, we have to also go into their commercial activity and say, okay, if you engage in commercial activity, therefore then come and pay the tax on those commercial activity. Maybe we can use that as a bait and say, if a church engages in any commercial activity, you can now enjoy the VAT on the item that you purchase for the church itself, not also for commercial activity.
Very well. Thank you so much, Francis Timoboy. Always exciting speaking to you. He's a lawyer and a tax analyst. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Eyewitness News. A number of your comments have still been coming through. This one from Jones Adoboy in Lassa. Good evening, Salam. Please tell Bawumia to focus on stopping the free fall of the dollar, of the cedi, and leave the churches alone. Enough of the empty promises. Ghanaians are not angry enough, you say. Prince Harry in Koforia says, good evening, Salam. Is that of the ECs, why do we expect the current EC led by Jane Mensah is not doing well, you say? So why do you expect my cousin to move from Enumboso with 2 guarantors to Akosombo, and for the 2 days the registration was not successful? Note, transportation from Enumboso to Akosombo, the district capital for Sujaman, is 120 Ghana cedis in and out. Now let's do the math. 3 people multiplied by 120 times 2 days. Very, very sad. And we have people from the MPP government defending this. You say, well, the EC take care of these people. The future is pregnant. That's from Prince Henry in Koforidua. Carlos from Odododio says, the current electoral commission and the commissioners are not doing well. He said he believes that I believe I can tell you for a fact that they are aware that these lost BVDs and DVDs are part of the coordinated effort to rig the election, you say. We should open our eyes and insist that what is right is done. That's from Carlos. David in Wager says, this man should leave religious issues out of his campaign. No true church of God will need money or incentive from government. We don't need it. Awinate from Sandeman says, Baumia cannot delude us any longer, you say. We have had enough of his lies. It will be suicidal to entrust the country into the hands of Baumia. No matter what he promises, opposition will strike him in the face. Anna Fenaneku says, good evening, Salam. Did I hear Baumia promising to give incentives to churches instead of taxes? What kind of developmental activities are undertaken by this Chok? Says, Dr. Baumia can no longer be trusted. He promised to transform our economy from taxation to production. What do we see today? Free fall of the city, needless borrowing, sheer incompetence, and recklessness. Dr. Baumia clearly has no credibility to lead this country as president. A vote for Baumia is a vote for Akufo-Addo's third term. That will mean doom for our country. Emmanuel Ajiman from Mataiko says our politicians are really, really doing harm to our democracy. Zalex Duen in London says the EC must be very vigilant. We just need a peaceful election in 2024. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Take a short break, return with more. Don't worry.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
There are some classy celebrations that call for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Wow! KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions,
and send tweets,
where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
It's the 3i Africa Summit, where innovation, impact, and investment converge, where technology drives transformation. From the 13th to the 15th of May 2024, heads of state, central bank governors, thought leaders, innovators, investors, academics, and entrepreneurs will converge to unleash Africa's full potential. Discover the power of digital assets, explore the state of digital growth in Africa, and unveil lessons from Africa's central bank digital currency experiments. Engage in discussions on diversity in the creative arts and tech, financing Africa's SMEs and bridging the digital gender gap. Network with investors, pitch your ideas, and access funding at the 3i Africa Deal Room and Pitchfest. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center as we ignite a fintech revolution for Africa's financial future. Visit 3iAfrica.com to register now.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. How are some more stories?
The flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, that is John Dramani Mahama, says he will investigate the PDS scandal and hold government officials accountable for any financial loss to the state if he's elected president. In a statement issued on social media, the former president said it's disheartening to learn that the $190 million negotiated for private sector participation in electricity distribution under the U.S. Millennium Compact has been lost. The former president, however, noted that if he wins the 2024 polls, he will work to enhance private sector efficiency in the electricity distribution system, including metering, revenue management, and fault response. The ECG was privatized in a contract fraught with mistrust and alleged financial misappropriations. Many stakeholders voiced their concerns, leading to the termination of the contract in October 2019.
All right, so now let's do some other exciting news. Now, Mother's Day, Mother's Day is this Sunday, Hawa, and we are all happy about it because we will celebrate our mothers. Now, mothers will, on this Sunday, May 12th, be celebrated in a grand style with an exquisite Mother's Day dinner to be held at the Alisa Hotel Pavilion, North Ridge in Accra. The dinner is part of a series of activities scheduled for May, known as the Family Month by Citi FM and Citi TV. The mothers attending can look forward to an evening of fine dining and entertainment. Now let's speak to our head of events and partnerships here at Citi FM and Citi TV, Frima Edunyami, to bring us up to speed on what to expect on that day. Hello, Frima. Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News. Can we say that all is set for an exquisite event on Sunday?
Thank you very much, Salom, and good evening to you. Yes, we can say that all is set. Currently, we have the setup ongoing at the Alisa Hotel Pavilion inside the dome. So yes, we are very ready.
So what can people expect? I mean, live music. I mean, what can people expect? Take us through some of the things people who will come, mothers who will come, can expect.
Well, to start with, Salem, it's going to be a very relaxed atmosphere. It's going to be an experience that everyone should be looking forward to. Good food, good music, and of course, we're going to have some bubbles as well. Now, the beautiful thing is it's going to be a gathering of mothers. You know, we all have our individual families. We sometimes step out and we meet. When we go out, we still have our own families sitting together, and this time around, it's going to be a lot of mothers coming together. Most of the times when we have events, we are talking about networking, but this time it is going to be networking for mothers. We are going to have mothers share their stories. We are going to have mothers who are going to be encouraging each other. Now, the beautiful thing is there's going to be various generations of motherhood. We have the young school mothers, we have the very, very old school mothers, all coming together to share their ideas and to encourage each other and to touch them at the back. Really do appreciate everything that they have done, the sacrifices that mothers have made, all of us. Now, aside that, we are also going to have a special recognition and prayer for all widows. You know, many women have gone through this journey of motherhood, raising their children all by themselves, simply because they lost their husbands along the way. And for such people, we want to especially respect and appreciate them. And also for mothers who happen to be celebrating their birthday of May, there will be a special cake cutting ceremony for them as well. So it's going to be celebrating mothers from different angles. And to all of us mothers, it's going to be a night where we can dance with live band music from the Tintin Band, delicious meals just like from Mama's Kitchen, by the Alisa Hotel. We are going to be sitting on some great wine and bubbles from Long Mountain and also from Verve Duvernay. And mothers, African mothers, Ghanaian mothers will not go out without their service, and that is GTP. So we are also supported by GTP. Of course, Ghana Milk is also in there to make the whole family story very complete.
I see. So the event starts at what time? 4 p.m.?
4 p.m. exactly.
I see. So for people listening to us, is it too late to call in to reserve a table? Or, I mean, what can they do if they are hearing us for the first time announce this?
Well, we are almost at the time of closing registrations. Now, for registrations, we are far gone. And if you have registered but have not made payments, please kindly do so, because I can't guarantee what is going to happen by tomorrow afternoon. And also because this requires a lot of preparations, at some point we need to close all entries just so we can concentrate on those who are coming to ensure that preparations in terms of meals, in terms of drinks, everything is all set, and then we are good to go. So if you haven't done the needful, you have from now.
Report on the controversial revenue assurance contract between GRA and SML using the Right to Information Act. The presidency, in response to the MFWA's request, argues that sections of the report, including deliberations and recommendations, are exempt from public disclosure. Speaking exclusively to Citi News at the 14th Commonwealth Regional Conference for Heads of Anti-Corruption Agencies in Africa, the Deputy Attorney General called on the public to accept the presidency's reasons, describing them as valid.
I think the reason for declining the request has been outlined by the government, and for now we must stick to that. But if something new comes up and there's a need to maybe revisit it, that should be the case. But as we have it now, the reason has been made known to the public, and it's also within the law. So let's see what happens.
Okay, but Honorable, if you were to give an advice to that effect, as someone expected highly to be an anti-corruption crusader, what would be your advice to the president on this one?
The president has the report. He's gone through the report, and based on the advice, he's come out with what he thinks should be done. Moving forward, if we think there's a need for the report to be out, and if there's no other reason, in fact, now the reason has been given by the president, and that's the reason that I believe is the reason why the report is not coming out. But if upon a further assessment, there's a need to review it, why not? But as we have it, as I indicated to you, there's a reason for it. That reason is valid. Let's stick to that reason and move on.
Honorable, is Ghana winning the fight against corruption?
Corruption fight is not the fight for one person. It's for you and I. We all need to do our part. It is a collective effort that we need to put in. And if you look at whether we are winning or we are losing, it will all depend on where we want to look at it. When it comes to institutional framework and how we are building our institutions, I think we are doing our part. When it comes to the resourcing of institutions, we are doing our part. So why are we not able to win it?
So you had Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah in that interview with my colleague Fauzu Masaudu.
It's now time for City Business on Eyewitness News. We take a short break. When we come back, Hawa will give us the day's business stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Details of our stories now. The Bank of Ghana has rejected criticisms over the disbursement of $12 million on behalf of the government for the Paulogu multi-purpose irrigation project, despite no visible progress on the ground. The central bank denies any allegations of impropriety, explaining that the payment to the contractors MS Power China International Group Limited was released solely upon government's authorization. At a recent Public Accounts Committee sitting, some members questioned the rationale behind such a payment, generating concerns among the public. But in an exclusive interview with Citi Business News, the bank clarified its role as a custodian of government accounts, insisting that it operates within the bounds of its mandate and cannot be faulted for executing authorized transactions. Bernard Otabil is Director of Communications at the Bank of Ghana.
We as Central Bank, we are actually the chief cashiers of the government, and we also hold all government accounts here. So we would act on instructions that have been issued to us. Once that approval is sought and the project is started, then you would also have the role of the Ministry of Finance at some point, coming in also looking at what has been submitted, whether it's actually in line with the contract that has been so specified. And when satisfied with the supporting document that needs to be presented, they can also make some recommendations. But finally, you would have the Controller and Accountant General coming in and making that authorization for payment to be made, and that comes to us. We will then go ahead and make the payment if the account is fully funded, and therefore there will not be any form of exposure on our part, because it's the same, it's not different from any of the banking services that you are very much used to. But in our unique position is that we deal with the government and most or all the MDAs, but largely on the government side, we are the bankers of the government. So the government will draw on its own account. And let's make it clear, the government will draw on its own account. And nobody can actually draw or issue a check on another person's account unless it's your own account. So we will make the payment from the government account authorized by the right people, right, that are supposed to make that authorization. So we would check to make sure that the instructions so given, both amount in words actually match, and that the account is well funded, and then we can go ahead and make those payments. Does it mean that we will just go ahead and make payment even if some form of query has been raised on an amount because it's coming from the government? But not in all cases. You may have a situation where maybe something has been raised, a query, an issue has been raised about some form of payment. We'll go back, look into it, investigate before we go ahead and make the payment in that regard.
That was the Director of Communication at the Bank of Ghana, Bernard Otabil. Ghana imported approximately £63 million worth of textile fibers from the United Kingdom in 2023 only. This is according to the latest data from the UK's Department for Business and Trade fact sheet, which reveals notable decline of 22.3% in UK's goods export to Ghana over the past 14 months. This comes at a time when local fabric manufacturers have expressed concerns of low sales. Here is more.
Ghana ranks as the UK's 84th largest trading partner, constituting 0.1% of the UK's total trade, according to the data from the same period. Furthermore, UK exports to Ghana totaled £545 million in the 4 quarters leading up to the end of quarter 4 of 2023, marking a notable decrease of 33.2% compared to the same period a year prior. The primary UK products imported by Ghana during this period were textile fibers amounting to £63.3 million, industrial machinery, meat and meat preparations, and refined oil. Conversely, Ghana's exports to the UK during this period were primarily comprised of crude oil, vegetables, and fruits. According to data from the Bank of Ghana, the country recorded a positive trade balance of $2.6 billion at the close of 2023. This underscores efforts by government to diversify the economy with a focus on fostering export-driven growth.
That was a News Desk report. Now, Total Energies is gearing up for increased support towards Ghanaian entrepreneurs and innovators in this year's Startup Challenge. Deputy project manager for the Startup Art Challenge at Total Energies, Anita Boachi, explained that the competition aligns with the company's dedication to fostering job creation and enhancing the overall economy of the country. Anita Boachi emphasized during an interview on Citi FM Auto Show that the initiative is integral to Total Energy's mission of nurturing innovation and entrepreneurship while contributing to the socio-economic advancement of African nations where they operate.
Is a challenge that Total Energies worldwide thought was needed mostly by African young entrepreneurs who had business ideas to share, to give solutions to socio-economic challenges mainly, and then as a way of employment creation as well. So the brand Total Energies, wherever we find ourselves, we are normally interested in not just taking business from the country in which we're operating, but we're also adding something to whatever country's economy that we find ourselves in. So we have 3 winners who would be awarded at the end of it. That is after the projects have been pitched, and then we narrow it down to the 3 winners. So that's an Innovap, which is the best entrepreneur. He wins 90,000 Ghana cedis. That's Cycle Up. That is the project which has the best circular economy idea. And then we have the Power Up. That is the project that has the best sustainable and affordable clean energy.
Anita Boachi is the Deputy Programs Manager for Total Energy's Startup Art Challenge. The Mobile Money Agent Association has revealed that some unscrupulous Momo agents are actively participating in SIM card fraud. Figures from the Bank of Ghana indicate a total of 12,166 cases of mobile money fraud were reported in 2022 as compared to 12,350 incidents in 2021, indicating a 1% decrease. The total value of fraud reported by PSPs for 2022 amounted to 27 million cedis, a significant rise from the 14.2 million cedis recorded in 2021. The total loss value showed a percentage increase of 47%. Speaking on the issue, Director of Operations of the Mobile Money Advocacy Group Ghana, Stephen Gorman, called for stricter measures to curb SIM card related fraud.
So agents who sell SIM cards are registering double SIM cards, triple SIM cards for customers without the knowledge of the customers. They do that. They pretend they are registering the SIM for you. Along the way, they will tell you no network challenge, so they couldn't go through. They are changing the SIM. Meanwhile, they've done the registration already. So the little customer doesn't know that, the person has done the registration and still try to get another SIM. So those extra SIMs that those agents get, they sell it to fraudsters. Meanwhile, you are not aware that they've sold the SIM card to somebody which is registered with your document, with your biometric data on it. So let's say there's an issue and you are being called by the CID for queries. It's hardly you can defend yourself because everything about you is on the SIM card.
That was Director of Operations of the Mobile Money Advocacy Group, Ghana, Stephen Gorman. And that's it for City Business News on Eyewitness News. The business news on Eyewitness News is brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
It's the 3i Africa Summit, where innovation, impact, and investment converge, where technology drives transformation. From the 13th to the 15th of May 2024, heads of state, central bank governors, thought leaders, innovators, investors, academics, and entrepreneurs will converge to unleash Africa's full potential. Discover the power of digital assets, explore the state of digital growth in Africa, and unveil lessons from Africa's central bank digital currency experiments. Engage in discussions on diversity in the creative arts and tech, financing Africa's SMEs and bridging the digital gender gap. Network with investors, pitch your ideas, and access funding at the 3i Africa Deal Room and Pitchfest. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center as we ignite a fintech revolution for Africa's financial future. Visit 3iafrica.com to register now.
There are some classy celebrations that call for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrum, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
You know, Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Tonight on Point Blank, we engage the National Youth Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, George Opare Ado. My colleague Hansen Ajiman sat with him and got him to answer questions on a wide range of areas, but mainly on the ongoing limited voter registration exercise. Let's listen to it.
The last 3 days have not been great. I understand we are using machines and equipment, and occasionally machines do break down. But the consistency in which this is happening is unacceptable. People have to plan their lives. In time past, we used to have registrations at polling stations. So I wake up and then in the neighborhood in which I vote or where I stay, in my own vicinity, I walk to the polling station and register. I wouldn't have to transport myself to a particular electoral area or to the EC's office to get registered. So that was convenient. So if I go and the systems or the machines are not working, it's convenient for me to walk back home and then the next morning or when it starts working, I can go. But there is a case, I live in Jowolo and I've just turned 18. I don't have a job because the economy is bad. My dad is struggling. My dad used to work in a bank. He's lost his job. My mom is also home. But I've turned 18 and I must exercise my civic responsibility. So I wake up in the morning and I need to go and register. I need to leave Jowolo and go all the way to Rich, where the EC's office is located. I pick an Uber or I get onto a trotro. Let's use a trotro because it's a cheaper option. The average trotro fare from Jowolo to Rich, and when I get there, I have to walk to where the Electoral Commission's office is. Averagely, it will cost me 10 Ghana cedis in. I get to the EC's office, join the queue, and then the whole day the system does not work. I need to go back home. I come home and whilst there, because I've spent my whole day there, I have to find food to eat because if I was home, I'll be fortunate, my mom would have cooked. Then I come back the next day and then the system persists. And so in trying to just get my name onto the register, it has to cost me about 40 to 60 cedis. Very few people will be encouraged to go back the next day. And that is exactly what the EC is doing. We also know that the EC is deliberately doing some of these things because, you see, if it is not deliberate, then the EC should be telling us what measures they are putting in place to make up for the lost time. Also, people who are moving from one area to the other just to go write their names, the cost they have to incur, it should not come at a cost when I want to exercise my civic responsibility. It has to be free. So if it has to come at a cost just to go write my name, very few people will be encouraged to go through. And so if I make the attempt once and I don't get to write my name because of somebody's inefficiencies, it cannot be my problem. Somebody must pay for it.
The EC often when we speak to them, they say their job essentially is to make the place available and the avenues available. The registrants will have to make themselves, take themselves to them.
You see, if you read the Supreme Court decision in the Ternadi case, the EC must register everybody who is eligible and is willing to register. Do you understand? And the law also says that you should make the registration centers closer to the people. The EC is not going by any of those laws and principles.
So you believe that the EC is acting unconstitutional?
Of course, yes. But you see, I blame our Supreme Court once again. Because in 2020, public officers owe a duty to the people they serve. And so at the end of a service, you owe it a duty to account for your stewardship. When Jane Mensah was brought to the Supreme Court, after changing her own election results 4 times, the Supreme Court gave her a leeway out and did not put her in the dock. Because if she had been put in the dock like Afro-Ejam did, would have...
Is the right available to her as a party?
No. You see, no, it's not about you. You see, when you're a public servant, when you owe a duty to the public, because my taxes are used in paying you. After rendering service, and there are challenges with the service you rendered, you gave us results on the 10th, on the 9th of December. You changed it on the morning of the 10th. On the 16th, when you're going to gazette your results, you changed it. And when you're coming to the Supreme Court, you came with a different results. How did you arrive at these results? You owe it a duty to tell us why those changes.
Couldn't other options have been explored if really what about accountability?
I don't know how best you account to the people, but the man or the person or the woman in charge mounting the docket and telling you and I that I did A, I did B, and this is what happened.
The argument is that there's the Government Assurance Committee, there's Parliament itself. Parliament has official committees. If it was about accountability really, then the NDC in Parliament could have enforced that.
It is not a responsibility of the NDC in Parliament. The NDC in Parliament cannot enforce issues of mandamus and what have you. It is the courts that do those enforcements. I blame the Supreme Court for the EC getting away with some of these things. Because you see, what the Supreme Court doesn't realize is that anytime there are election disputes and it sparks chaos, nobody is spared. And so you can be living in the confines of your home, but when there is any dispute, it may come to your doorstep. And so we must hold public officers, the standards for public officers who are in such sensitive positions are higher.
So you think the posture of the Supreme Court has encouraged the EC to be active?
The EC is being very recalcitrant in some of the things that it's doing. It is the first time in our history, since 1992, that in an election year, registration is only being done at EC offices. It is the first time in our history. It's never happened before.
He says anytime limited registration is being done, it's done at their offices.
It's not true. It is not true. Ask Strabo when he joined the Electoral Commission.
He says he joined in 95.
He joined in 95, then he's not being factual. Because every time there's been election, there's been registration in an election year. This is the first time limited registration is being done in the AC's offices. The first time it happened was in 2023.
In those instances when it's done at the polling center, there's mass registration.
No, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. In 2008, during the election, when they were doing limited, this is the first time in our history. Usually it's done on electoral area basis, not in the EC office. Limited registrations have never been done in the EC's office. It only happened in 2023 and 2024. Every time it's done on electoral area basis, and then they rotate from one location to the other so that it gets closer to the people, because he knows where his strongholds are. And they are a lot like the scenario I gave you. If you don't facilitate the movement of some of these people, they want to register, but they don't have the means. And you don't expect an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old to walk from Jolu all the way to Ridge to go write his name, join a queue for 6-7 hours, and walk back to Jolu. You won't get him going. So if the EC does not make it readily available to them in their localities, then the political parties now have to find a way of getting the people closer to the center so they register.
How do you take a decision of getting them? Are you looking at persons who affiliate with the party or any young person?
No, I sit in my office here as National Youth Organizer. This is a youth secretariat. If any young person walks in here and says that I've turned 18, I want to register, but the polling station is a bit too far from me, can you help me get there? If I can, yes, I'll find ways of helping him get there.
But are you going out to the communities looking for 18-year-olds?
We are all on social media. We are in the communities promoting that first-time voters should go write their name and register. I've seen videos of leading political figures. I've seen people doing flyers, circulating it out on social media, encouraging people who have turned 18 to go out there and register. Because we believe that if we don't do that, if we don't drive people, and you see, the AC had not even done enough public education on this registration exercise. The sensitization has not been enough. The NCCE has not been out there like they used to. And so if we don't get involved as a political party, because for us, our major job is to get people to register and vote. Without the votes of people, changes that we require do not happen. And so the human factor is what drives every political party. And for that factor to work, that person must be a registered voter. If your name is not in the register, you're of no use to me as a political party. And so it is the names that appear in the register are the people, our core constituents. They are the people we go and speak to and campaign to. And so we have a duty to make sure people go and register. And we also have a duty of making sure that the right people are registered at the right places.
Will you say your day-to-day costs over the past 3 years have increased because of it?
Certainly it will increase. Certainly it will increase.
What are some of the key factors that have increased?
We have party agents at the polling stations. We must feed them. 4 days ago, I was not feeding anybody at any polling station, but today I have more than 3 or 4 people. When you go to Legon, I have my 10 presidents and his executives knocking on doors and asking people to come and register. Certainly, I'll have to find food for them. Certainly, when I go around and I see them working, I cannot just turn my back on them. When you get to the polling station and there are challenges with transportation issues, and you can help address them, you help address them. Because somebody may have come, he couldn't register, and he has to go back. The next morning, he doesn't know how he's coming. Once you are there, and we are going around, once you are there and such challenges gets to your attention, as a leader, especially a youth leader, you cannot just turn your back on situations like that. You must be seen to be up and doing. And so, yes, my costs have increased, and if you have anything to donate to me, I will gladly accept it.
Now, let's look at these numbers and their importance in the 2024 election. Obviously, this is a means to an end. You are hoping that they'll register and they will vote for the NDC's candidate, John Mahama, as well as parliamentary candidates. Are they on your side?
No electorate is on your side until he casts his votes or he casts his ballots. And so you can only hope that your message will get to him and your message will find acceptability with him. And when that happens, he will vote for you. When we mobilize people to go and register, we are not mobilizing them because we know they are going to vote for us for sure. Because even your mother you sleep in the same house with, your wife you sleep on the same bed with, can vote against you. And so you are not rest assured they are voting for you. But as a political party, we have a duty to protect our democracy. And I've always said that the NDC, we are the midwives of Ghana's democracy. And so we must safeguard it at all costs. For democracy to continue, we need people to register and have their names in the electoral roll. Without their names in the electoral roll, there is no register and we can have no credible elections.
But do you think grants are fertile for these young people to listen to the message of the NDC?
The grounds have always been fertile for every political party, depending on how you sell your message to them. But the truth is that the average Ghanaian is struggling and suffering. The hardship has hit everybody. And so the ordinary Ghanaian, whether he's a youngster, he's old, is in the same boat. Operado alone doesn't sleep in Dumso. You also do. You endure it. Operado alone doesn't buy fuel. If you're not even buying, you definitely transport yourself from point A to point B. If you're paying 10 cedis in 2016, certainly today you're paying about 30 cedis. And so, yes, it affects your purchasing power. Data has increased. For most of these young people, data is of key essence to them. Data prices have gone up astronomically. So every facet of society have seen one problem or the other because of the incompetences of this administration. And so everybody is suffering and everybody is struggling. And so yes, you cannot blame them entirely. But asking me whether the grounds are fertile, it is fertile when you only water it and make sure there is enough mulching and you tender it well. And then on that day you can harvest the votes. And that is exactly what we are doing as a political party.
We know when it comes to elections, usually there are data, the political parties are guided by data. The Electoral Commission says on the back of the Ghana Statistical Service data, they estimate about 1.9 million Ghanaians who have hit the age of 18 between the period of 2020 to date. In 2023, they were able to register about 900,000 of that figure. They are hoping to register 600,000 of that figure. That should be added to the about 17 million that is already on the roll. So we should be looking about some 18.7 million on the roll now. 1.7 million apps for grabs. Do you have any math on how many of that you should get on your side?
If you are not careful, you'll be doing political forecasting, which is dangerous. We are hoping to win 2024. We are hoping that new people who get onto the register will vote for change. But we are not here to do any forecasting. I'm not a political forecaster, so I will not be able to say whether 10 million is going to vote for the NDC or X number is going to vote. What I know is that if elections are held today, the NDC will win. And will win by more than the 50.1% that we need to declare John Mahama president. And that is what we are working at. We have figures we are working with. I'm a data person. I believe in analyzing data. My whole politics is based on data analysis. And for me, I believe that data speaks more than any other thing. And so I do, my politics is a bit different. I strongly believe that the number of young people, and young people around the world, have always been seen as agents of change. Some even call them regime changers. And so usually governments are not very comfortable with first-time voters, because once he gets the power for the first time, he can only effect change and nothing else. That is how he's exercised his power. And so governments are not very comfortable with first-time voters. That is why I know the NPP, together with the Electoral Commission, is going about to frustrate all these people. In 2023, when the EC did its projection for first-time voters to register, its projection was about 600,000. We, the NDC, had to draw their attention and said, no, based on the population census, this is the numbers we are looking at. They revised it, but we ended up exceeding the targets. Now the EC is talking about 600,000. We are saying 850,000 plus, based on the data from the statistical services. Certainly, we'll register more than 600,000. They are doing 600,000 because of the things they are doing. Network for 3 days. For 3 days.
Isn't it a matter of safe margins that you have 1.9 million young people?
You have more than 1.9.
Well, they are saying
you have more than in 2023. You're looking at 1.9.
Just for 2023.
Yes. And now there is a new year, so add 2024. Do you understand? Because the 1.9 they used it in 2023. Those are the figures we are running with. Because they could not have added 2024 because they are not turned 18 yet.
So you say you're going in looking at...
We are looking at about 823,000 to 850,000 for this registration exercise, yes.
And really, your hope is to sell your message to get everybody. And you don't have a target with this 823.
Like I told you, I said first-time voters are known around the world as regime changers. Science and research has also proven that first-time voters, likely they may vote against the government or against the status quo. Give or take, we hope that if we are going to even register 800,000 for this current registration exercise, about 600,000 of them should end up voting for the NDC if they end up to vote. Not because of anything, because we think we have a superior message than the NPP, and we have a better record, and we've managed this economy better than what the NPP is doing. And based on this indicators, we strongly believe that these young people will align themselves to the NDC and then listen to the message of hope His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is selling.
If you look at the NPP on the other side, it appears they have the belief that they can win the election with first-time voters. They are talking about free SHS. They are talking about the educational policies targeted towards these young people. How is it playing out, and how is the NDC seeking to get these young people?
I don't know when and how they are going to talk about free SHS. There's a lot of these young people who have finished free SHS are bitter about their experiences in secondary school. And the NDC has credible alternatives, credible policies that transitions them from free SHS into tertiary. And so if you compare the policies of the NDC to that of the NPP, our policies are more feasible. And mind you, free SHS is not a creation of the NPP. In 2015-2016, John Mahama started compulsory free high school, progressively free higher education for day students, and the records are there. And so free SHS is not peculiar to the NPP alone. Article 25 of the Constitution makes it clear. You understand? So the NPP cannot take full credit for free SHS. Laudable policy, but they've butchered the implementation. And you think the students who come out with those experiences are happy about how free SHS have treated them. You go to school and you can't find food to eat under the name of free SHS. And so they have challenges with free SHS. We are saying we'll make it better. We'll improve upon it and make it better. We are not going to cancel free SHS like the NPP keep trumpeting everywhere they go. But we are talking about free education at the tertiary level for disabled students. When John Mahama spoke about that in 2020, today I see Baumia is also running with that. We are talking about 1 million coders. I see Baumia is also going around telling them that I'm going to provide training capacity for 1 million. These are things the NDC has already said. The most difficult aspect of tertiary education is when you get your admission letter, the entry fees, the residential and faculty user fees. It's so expensive that you struggle to pay. What the NDC is saying is that once you get your admission letter, the student loans that we give to you, you pre-assess it once you get your admission letter. So just take your admission letter, go to the student loan office, and then take the money and go and pay your fees so that you don't have to struggle through